How's it going, guys? It's Poetry Son, and welcome back to another episode of the Europa Universalis for Dutch Return campaign in EU4, obviously, I just said that. Where we are at war with Spain. In fact, I'm probably going to see if I can make my way through France somehow, get access to someone. Maybe we already have access to them. No. We could probably still make our way over there with our transports. That's what we'll do. So yeah, so last episode we were talking about culture shock a little bit, and I was telling my story about reverse culture shock and how it kind of snuck up on me, it kind of blindsided me. I had been expecting it, and it was like, you know, like I'm gonna get through this. And when I got back from Spain, if you missed last episode, that's what we talked about, is like how I reverse culture shock and sort of how that has caught me off guard this semester. But yeah, so like when I got back from Spain, I really wasn't expecting to. So I was expecting it. I was hoping it wouldn't be too bad, and then it seemed like I wasn't really having any difficulty at home and stuff. When I got to school, I sort of had this experience where I was like, wow, this is and I'm hoping that people, you know, are able to relate to this. Other people that have studied abroad or are maybe going to study abroad. This is something that maybe it'll help you to be aware of, you know. I'm not just saying this to talk about myself, you know. But yeah, so there was this this feeling once I got back to school, though. Once I started getting into classes again, this feeling of being like, I want to talk about this a lot. That was one feeling. I want to talk about this with all the people in my classes and stuff. All these new friends I'm making, and old friends I'm reconnecting with. I haven't seen them in like a year, you know, since the spring before. But the other problem was I was like, I don't. Part of it was like I want to talk about this with people who might not necessarily care. That's part of it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with those people. That's like perfectly reasonable. But the other thing was also that I was like, I wish I had someone to relate to. What Tupanikum is invading Cyprus. I want to have more of those people that I related to and became friends with in Spain, because that's one thing that's been super hard for me. And the sort of not being able to talk to people about it and have them understand, really, that's part of it still. But that's gotten a lot better. Now I'm like, I have found people that do actually want to hear about that stuff, and like my girlfriend and my family, they're like, yeah, tell us more about Spain, and that's so it's helped me unpack those experiences there and sort of the things that I feel like I learned about life and stuff. But then largely, one thing is that a little bit of background. So I go to Clemson University. I don't mind sharing that information, really. I don't share my personal information. You know, I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. Don't live there most of the year. But even that is like, that's about as deep as I would go. You know, I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, and the reason I bring that up is because sometimes I like to talk about Southern culture or my perceptions of Southern culture and the South and where I grew up. So that kind of helps place it. You know, I don't mind saying that I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, a small city of like 350,000 people. Because that's like it's a big enough city that I don't feel like someone's going to come and find me. It'd be hard for someone to find me based off of that information. And I don't mind telling people that I go to Clemson University. Part of that is because I'm proud of it. I'm like, go Tigers, you know. For those of you who are European, you might not know, but Clemson, while you might not have heard of it outside out of the U.S., it's a decently well-known household name in the U.S. now, at least, because just 2 years ago we actually won the national championship for football, American football, of course. I do need to specify that since I'm addressing Europeans here. So, but yeah, there was we won the national championship, and that is the most watched sport in the U.S. You know, a country of like 330 million people. So that. And it's not the most watched game because there's the Super Bowl, like professional, but at college level, it's the most watched game. It's a big deal, you know. I started going at Clemson before he even were like one of the top dogs in football, and so I was like, you know, screw you hipsters, I'm the real hipster, anyways. But no, that's a different story. But But so it's a decently well-known name, and so I'm proud of that. But the other thing is, Clemson is a big university. It's like 25,000 students or so, or 20,000 students at least. I don't know the exact numbers. So I'm not really afraid that someone's gonna, again, find me in one of my classes one day and, kidnap me or something. I don't know. But no, I seriously, I don't care talking about that. Oh god, where was I even going with this? Okay, so when I got back to Clemson, I found people here that that I can talk to. Oh yeah, that's right. So with Clemson, I should start looking for other war opportunities we can do. By the way, I do recognize that. I promise, I'll start doing that. We're in wars. I try to make sure that we're always in wars. So that I am forced to think while I'm playing. Brunswick, Naples, Brunswick. So Brunswick doesn't have any land that we want. Yeah. Brunswick and Naples. Naples is a one province minor in Calabria or whatever. So I think we do this. Yeah. Yeah. And Bremen as well. Oh my god, I just realized. I didn't realize that Bremen was in it. Oh yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't have wanted to co-belligerize them, but still, this is good. Oh, you know what? We can definitely take our generals out of the Middle East. So... But yeah, so Clemson does have study abroad programs. They have quite a few of them. They have a study abroad program in Spain, actually. They have one... well, actually, there's a couple Clemson study abroad programs in Spain. But specifically... the language department. There's an architecture one in Barcelona, which is like, one of the best spots in the world probably to have an architecture program. But Gaudi represent. But anyways, so they have that one. However, the language program in particular has a program in Spain, in Seville. And that's cool. And they also have like a couple other programs. They have one. Their other big one that they really push is Cordoba, not in Spain though, in Argentina. Cordoba. Oh, hey, look at that. We got. We finished the Suez Canal. Nice. That's awesome. Actually, I didn't really read the pop-up. Rip me. Rip comments. People gonna be angry. No. Let's use our. First off, pay off debts. You guys don't have debts. Yeah, so we're gonna placate local rulers in New Brabant a lot, and New Holland. Why not? Why not? And then we're gonna gain the hunt. Was that already at? Excuse me? It only put us up to 80. Were we at minus 20 before? How? Jeez. Apparently I'm very unawares. We could also go to war with the Ottomans pretty soon here. No, we have a truce, so never mind. But yeah, so the Oh, did we get access through France with the... We did. Oh, tricky. Sneaky stats. Sneaky strats. Huh? Get to war with them from one war. Or, get access through them from one war and then go the other way. Or, use it in the other war. So, we... Yeah, definitely do that. In fact, how long... Okay, yeah, we'll be good. So Clemson has a few programs, and I think they're fine. They look pretty good. But I was like, I don't really want to go to Seville for a couple of reasons. Quite a few reasons. First off, Seville is quite a bit bigger than Alicante, and I didn't want to go to a big city. Seville is not really that big, but it's really, I think it's like probably like double the size of Alicante. It's like comparing Columbia, South Carolina to Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is quite a bit more significant, quite a bit bigger. It feels like a city, whereas if you're in Columbia, if you ever been to Columbia, South Carolina, the downtown area feels like a city, but it's pretty small, and when you're talking to people there, then you don't really feel like you're in a city. But so I was like, I don't really like the city. I don't think I want to go to Sevilla for the city aspect there. I'd rather go to a place that's a little bit smaller, because I feel like I would be able to blend in a little more. I also want to go to a place, and this is like a little maybe selfish, or not. I mean, it's fine to be selfish. I'm choosing for myself. It's not like I'm choosing for anyone else. I was like, it's maybe a little, I don't know, pretentious. I'm not afraid to admit it. But I was like, I kind of want to go to a place that's on the Mediterranean, just because like, I've never been to the Mediterranean before. I've always, like, you know, I'm super into history, especially like Iberian history, especially like Catalonia recently, the last, you know, the 6 months prior to going to Spain, I was super into like the history of Catalonia and Valencia and Italy. I took my first Italian class. I was like, I want to go to someplace in the Mediterranean. I want to get a feel for the Mediterranean way of life, you know, if there is such a thing. Let's figure out what that's like and if there can be said to be a Mediterranean way of life. And so I was like, let's go like, I want to go to a Mediterranean place. I also, a big thing, or maybe not a big thing, but a thing in my head was also, is there any chance that I maybe would be able to learn Catalan or Valencian there? Because, again, like I said, I was starting to get into Catalan at that point in time, and I was like, that, if, you know, there's no reason not to consider that, if that is something that I'm interested in, which it was, and still is, so I don't think it was wrong to consider that. And Alicante is honestly, there's not too much of Valencian nowadays. It's not really spoken in the streets too much, but it is certainly there more than in other places. And if you tell someone that you're learning it there, most of the time you're greeted with like a, if they are, you know, Valencian, even if they're not native Valencian speaker, if they're a Valencian like by birth, they will appreciate it. And in general, I think people there are like that's cool that you're trying to learn something about our, you know, our language here, our culture. What's our coalition looking like? Nope. Yeah, that's bad. So yeah, I found that really cool, and so I'm glad that that was taken into consideration. So that was another thing, and so I looked at that. I was like, where are some places that I could go that would have that would be smaller, be a place on the Mediterranean, and that wasn't the Mediterranean thing was more like a bonus. So that wasn't a deal breaker or anything. Where's a place that fits these criteria, and especially mainly the size. The size really was the big thing. I didn't want to go somewhere rural, but I did want to go somewhere that was like a small city or a medium-sized city, not a larger city. And the place that really fit those criteria, especially, oh hey, we can do. I'm gonna wait a little bit on that. But the place that really fit those criteria, especially since I was looking for a specific like certain programs that Clemson has worked with a lot in the past and are pretty reputable. The place that really fit the bill was Alicante. That was the place I found that was like, this fits a lot of the, it doesn't necessarily fit, it's not the perfect fit. I don't know if there is a perfect fit really. But it certainly has all the criteria I think that I am looking for. I'm going to go here. And I did, and that was awesome. I'm super glad I went to Alicante. However, part of the thing with that was because of the fact that I was the only, that it's not a Clemson-run program. As a result of that, I was the only Clemson student there. There were no other Clemson students. There were no other students from South Carolina, which makes sense. This is a small state. There weren't even really any other students that I met in my classes, at least, that I had classes with from the Southeast. There was one other student from Florida, and then another from Maryland, which is about as close as you're going to get, although that's technically in the north if you're going by, like, the Dixie line or whatever. But, yeah, no, so it was certainly not... Certainly, I felt a little out of my comfort zone with the other Americans that I was with there. I made plenty of friends in Spain from Spain, so that doesn't really apply to. But all the friends there came from different walks of life. There were a lot of people from California. Like I said, one person from Florida, one person from Maryland, one person from Iowa, one person from Minnesota, and we became really good friends. I became really good friends with like pretty much all of them. We were pretty close knit by the end of the semester. And the one thing that fascinated me was just how quickly that was able to come about too. Like we like fell in line and sort of made group me's and started talking and becoming really good friends really quickly. And I really liked that. It was an awesome experience in that regard as well. You know what? I just pieced out with these guys. I should have taken some of their land. Do you think I could Alt F4? I'm going to do so. I apologize, but that's actually a major mistake. I should definitely have another culinary nation. There's literally no reason not to, so I'm going to do so. The game will start up real quickly, and it's actually about time to send this, but I'll talk a little longer. Hey, if you want to, you can quit the video here, maybe. I don't know. We're going to probably go another 3 minutes, but it'll probably just be the peace deal for that. If you don't want to hear me keep blabbering on, then, you know. But I mean, that goes for, you know, for any video. Anyways, though, while it's starting up real quickly, so because of the fact that all these friends that I made who were American were not from Clemson or the South or anywhere really nearby, then they were a lot different. But it was awesome. It was so cool meeting people and getting to know them and stuff. However, the real big downside to that was, and has been, that I don't really, whereas people who normally go with the Clemson programs, they're with other Clemson students, many of whom they've had classes with before for their language that they're taking and, you know, studying in the country that they're living, you know, that language. So many of them, when they come back, they're like, oh, you remember that time we did this? While they're in class, you know, they're in class again with those people that they already got to know really well and bonded with in Spain or in Argentina or wherever. For me, I don't have that. I don't have those people who went to the same place as me. I don't think I have met since I've been back in the U.S. I don't think I've met another person, really talked to anyone who has been to Alicante at all before. So it's like I don't really have that element of still being with the people that went to the same place as me. Being able to share that experience with other people frequently is something that I'm missing out on, and so that's been a little sad for me. Is the fact that I haven't been able to do that, and like lots of the other students in my classes, like they've talked about that when we've done projects for one of my classes that's about professional communication. We get to choose our own topics. So for our opening topics, I talked about Spain, about Alicante, and because it was still fresh in my mind. And a lot of them talked about, like, a couple of them talked about Argentina, a couple of them talked about Spain, like Seville. And for me, that was a little sad. I was a little like, wow, I wish I could, like, share this experience with other people, but not many people, like, hardly anyone I could meet here, and I wouldn't even know where to begin to look for them, would know what I'm talking about, would be able to relate. No one is, and obviously none of them had that same, like, you know, shared experience where we were together there. All the friends that I made and had a good time with in Alicante are now back in their places that they're from, you know. So that's a bit hard for me. It's like I can talk to them over the phone and stuff and text them and stuff, but it's not really the same. It's not really the same as like seeing those people and stuff, and it's a little sad for me. So I guess that's the main thing that has been the hardest for me since I've been back in Clemson. That's the main thing that's probably been the hardest single challenge to me readjusting. And the whole reason I got on this topic at the start of last video, is because I want to talk about, like, what has been up with me, why I've been busy, why I've been stressed recently. And that's part of it, is the fact that I have had a hard time readjusting, you know, and I realize this is the thing. Like, I just want to say, I realize how incredibly, like, lucky and privileged I am. Like, like, don't let me make you think that I'm saying, like, oh, this is so incredibly hard for me that I went to Spain and now, you know. No, I'm not trying. I hope I'm not coming across like that. Like, I'm really not. I recognize this is a problem of, I'm lucky to have this problem and have this be the main reason that I'm struggling with my schoolwork. Plenty of other people that that are in the same class as me might have, like, you know, maybe they're some of them, like, might be working full-time jobs just to keep going with school right now, and I'm complaining about this. I did work last summer to go to Spain as well, so I'm not completely spoiled or anything. Like, I'm certainly not from a rich family. Let's get that clear. But But my situation is certainly not one where I am deserving of pity or sympathy. So please do not. I'm not begging for sympathy. I'm just sharing what has been difficult for me, and it has been difficult. It's been difficult for me to readjust, but it hasn't been the hardest thing that I've had to go through, certainly. And it's just a growing experience, and that's really all I want to talk about and share, I guess. And I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. So yeah. So hopefully I haven't come across like that. But anyways. But as I was saying, like, that's been the trickiest thing for me so far. Crap. Okay, so yeah, I'm glad we are redoing this. But yeah, that's certainly been the trickiest thing for me so far. In readjusting is like having no one to talk to, and it has affected. I think it has actually affected like my schoolwork and the quality of my schoolwork. And how I have been motivated to do things. My motivation has probably been at like an all-time low to do schoolwork because I'm just like so scatterbrained thinking about like other stuff. Oh god, people yelling outside. Please. The window's like open because it's nice out. But and I'm in here recording. Where was that? Mari Dawasiri. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Yeah, tell you what, that's a good place to end this episode. Uh-oh. Did I end the recording all... Oh, no, okay. I thought I ended the recording on accident. No. Okay, we're good. Yeah, no, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I might continue this discussion and continue talking about what I've been up to and sort of my struggles this semester. My ultimately insignificant struggles before we all inevitably become ash in the heat death of the universe. But anyways, with that lovely message, I will leave you guys until next episode. Please leave a like and subscribe for more. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.